In the rolling valleys of Pennsylvania, where the Allegheny mist kissed the dawn each morning, there lay a small town called Stillwater. It was the kind of place where the clanging of the forge echoed down every street, where men spoke little and worked much, and where the scent of coal smoke clung to your coat long after you left the smithy. Stillwater had a blacksmith named Thomas Granger, a man known for his iron will and fiery temper. He was built like the anvils he struck, heavy, unyielding, and proud. His arms carried the strength of 20 years of labor, and his words carried twice the weight. Thomas had 2 sons. The elder, Elias, was quiet, too quiet for his father's liking. The younger, Caleb, was bold, loud, and quick with a hammer. Elias was soft-spoken, slender, and observant. He would often stop working to watch the sunlight glint off the river, lost in thought. To his father, that made him weak. "Steel," Thomas would bark, "is made through fire and blows, not by staring at the water." And Elias, with his downcast eyes and gentle hands, would nod, swallow his words, and return to the forge. The townsfolk whispered that the blacksmith's elder son had no fire in him, only smoke.
It happened on a summer afternoon, when the air was thick with heat and the clang of hammers. Thomas had left the forge to deliver a wagon of tools, leaving Elias to tend the coals alone. Caleb was off in the market, boasting of his father's strength and his own skill. A merchant from the next town arrived, demanding that a dozen horseshoes be ready before sunset. Elias, trembling with depression, nodded, too afraid to tell the man his father was away. He worked hard, sweat dripping into his eyes, but in his nervous haste, he overfired the metal. The shoes bent and cracked. The merchant's laughter rang through the forge. When Thomas returned and saw the ruined work, rage filled his chest like a bellows. "You fool!" he roared. "You've cost me my name, my trade, and my honor." Elias tried to speak, but his voice broke like thin glass. "Get out!" his father thundered. "Out of my sight! You are no son of mine." The words cut deeper than any blade. Elias stumbled from the forge, past the staring eyes of the town, his heart heavy as iron. He walked until he reached the edge of Stillwater, where the river flowed wide and merciless. There, beneath the crimson sky, he whispered to the water, "I bring no good to this world. Better the river carry me away than my shame follow me." And he stepped closer to the current.
But fate had other plans. As Elias leaned forward, a hand seized his shoulder. "Not that way, son," a calm voice said. Elias turned to see a man wrapped in a long brown coat, a traveler's hat shading his face. His eyes were kind, but sharp, like a man who had seen much sorrow and much truth. "What do you want?" Elias asked bitterly. "You do not know me." The stranger smiled. "No, but I know despair when I see it. It walks with a heavy step." Elias laughed hollowly. "I failed my father, failed my work, and failed myself. What else is left?" The stranger's gaze softened. "Only everything that matters. Life, courage, and the chance to rise." "I am no brave man," Elias muttered. "Then perhaps you've never been given a chance to be one," said the traveler. "Come with me. There's someone you must meet." Elias hesitated, then followed, if only because he had nowhere else to go. They walked until the sun dipped behind the ridge, and the forest swallowed the light. At last, they came to a clearing where an old cabin stood beneath a sprawling oak.
A small fire crackled before it, and beside that fire sat an old man, white-haired, robed in faded linen, eyes closed in meditation. The traveler bowed. "Master Harlan," he said quietly, "this is the young man I told you of." The old man opened his eyes, pale blue and piercing. He studied Elias for a long moment before speaking. "You carry the weight of shame," he said. "It bends your back more than the blacksmith's hammer ever could." Elias fell to his knees. "I am beyond saving, sir. I bring misfortune wherever I go." The hermit shook his head slowly. "No soul is beyond the reach of light. But light requires courage. And courage, my boy, is born only through action." Elias wiped his eyes. "Action? What can a coward like me do?" The hermit leaned closer. "For 3 days you will do exactly as I tell you. If, by the end, you do not see your life differently, you may return to the river. But if you do, you will never look back." Elias nodded faintly. 3 days. That is all I have left to lose. "Today," said the hermit at dawn, "you will go to the town of Milford, 10 miles east. You will speak to 10 strangers. Ask them about their lives. Listen to them. Nothing more." Elias frowned. "Speak to strangers? I can barely speak to my own kin." "Then it is time you learn," said the hermit. The road to Milford was long and dusty. The boy's heart thudded with dread at every step. He reached the market just as the sun rose over the stalls. Peddlers shouting, horses stamping, children laughing. He froze. Words died in his throat. Then he saw a woman selling bread. Her hands were rough and her face kind. Elias forced himself forward. "Ma'am," he stammered, "how long have you sold bread here?" She looked up, surprised, then smiled. "Since my husband passed, 10 years now. The market keeps me alive." Elias nodded, said thank you, and walked away, trembling, but strangely, lighter. He spoke next to a cobbler, a blind man with a fiddle, a soldier missing a hand, a young mother, a weary miner. Each told him something, a story, a memory, a piece of pain or joy. By sunset, Elias realized he had spoken to 10 strangers and lived to tell the tale. When he returned to the cabin, the hermit asked only, "And what did you learn?" "That everyone carries something heavy, but none of them hide from it as I do." The hermit smiled. "Then you have learned the first lesson. Courage begins when we face others, not when we hide from them." The next morning, the hermit said, "Today you will teach. Go to the old schoolhouse in Stillwater. Tell the children why the river runs." Elias blinked. "Teach? Me? I am no scholar." "Then teach what you know," said the hermit. Elias returned to Stillwater, heart hammering. The teacher, Miss Clara, was skeptical but kind. She let him stand before 20 curious faces. He froze again, until a little girl whispered, "Sir, why does the river move so fast?" He swallowed. "Because it must," he said softly. "If it stopped,
it would grow still and die. So it keeps moving, even when the rocks try to hold it back. The children leaned forward. Like us? One boy asked. Elias smiled faintly. Exactly like us. When he left the schoolhouse, the children waved and called, "Goodbye, Mr. Elias." He realized he was smiling, not the forced smile of fear, but the gentle smile of someone discovering he mattered. That night, by the hermit's fire, he said, "I taught them, but I think they taught me more." "And what was that?" asked the hermit. "That fear loses its power when you give something instead of hiding it." The hermit nodded. "You are beginning to see."
The third morning dawned gray and heavy. Elias woke with a weight in his chest he could not name. "This is your final task," said the hermit. "Return to your father, seek his forgiveness, and offer your own." Elias trembled. "No, please, that I cannot do. He will cast me out again." "Then you have learned nothing," the hermit said gently. "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to walk despite it." Elias set off down the path. Each step felt like a chain dragging behind him. When he reached the forge, his father was hammering alone, older now, shoulders bent not from labor, but from guilt. Thomas turned, startled. "Elias?" The boy fell to his knees. "Father, I have wronged you. I let fear make a fool of me, but I beg you, give me one chance to make things right." Thomas's hammer fell from his hand. For a long moment he said nothing. Then his voice broke. "I was the fool, son. My anger was the forge that burned you. Can you forgive me?" Tears blurred Elias's vision. "I already have." They embraced, the sound of the forge soft behind them like a heartbeat returning to life. When Elias returned to the hermit that night, he said, "I did it. I faced him." The old man smiled. "Then you no longer need me."
"But what of the secret you promised?" Elias asked. The hermit stirred the fire, its embers glowing like stars. "The secret," he said softly, "was never mine to give. You've lived it already." Elias frowned. "I don't understand." 3 days ago, you were a man bound by fear. Today, you are not. You spoke to strangers, taught children, faced your father. You found strength not in my words, but in your actions. Remember this, Elias. People see you the way you see yourself. Confidence is not born, it is built, blow by blow, like iron in the forge. Elias bowed his head, tears shining in the firelight. "Then I am no longer the blacksmith's failure?" "No," said the hermit. "You are the blacksmith's son and the world's teacher." When Elias looked up again, the hermit and his cabin were gone. Only the fire remained, burning steady in the night. Years passed. Stillwater changed, as all towns do. The rivers still ran, the forge still rang, but the people spoke of a man who traveled from village to village, teaching those who had lost their faith in themselves. He was no preacher, no scholar, just a man with a calm voice and steady hands. He listened more than he spoke, and when he spoke, people listened. One day, an old merchant's son, shy and broken from failure, came to him and said, "Sir, how do I stop being afraid of the world?" Elias smiled gently,
eyes glinting like the fire of his father's forge. "Do one thing each day that fear forbids," he said. "Do it for 3 days, and you'll see who you truly are." The boy looked puzzled. "And what if it doesn't work?" Elias chuckled softly. "Then keep going, because courage isn't found at the end of the road, it's built along the way." As the boy walked away, the wind carried Elias's final words, words that would echo across generations. The world does not see your weakness. It sees only the strength you choose to show. In the forge of life, each of us is both the blacksmith and the iron. Fear strikes us, doubt cools us, but courage is the fire that shapes us. The story of Elias Granger is not a tale of magic or miracle, but of a simple truth, that every man, woman, and child can rise if only they dare to try. So, when the darkness whispers you are not enough, remember the blacksmith's son. He too once believed that, and he was wrong.